Yeah, I mean, I think for instance, like fire. Just about everything. Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's going on with you?
You sound fired.
I'm good. Taking care of business, checking it off.
It's very small, but
Not one way or the other right now. I was watching the CBS this morning. Special bid marketing position. He said I rarely go to bed now. I was like, man, that is.
Yeah.
Why don't you wake up? I guess that's all right.
Sitting with the green and white and vaccine, just amazing.
Ready?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you that we can come together and do the business of the city of Newcastle. We thank you that you saw us through a few rough days there a week ago. We also ask you just to protect our employees and just watch over our city and prosper in Jesus' name.
Amen.
City Council meeting Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023 comes to order. Roll call, please.
Mike Guffey.
Present.
Jeff Hancock.
Present.
Jerry Walden.
Present.
Aaron Dickens.
Here.
Mark Covert. Lynn Purdue.
Present.
Rex Beckhoff.
Here. At this point in time, we have some house, I won't say house cleaning, maybe I better say housekeeping to do. We need to have the election of new officers for 2023. At this point in time, are there any nominations for
I'd
president?
like to nominate Rex Beckhoff for president.
Second. Motion is second. Are there any other nominations? Any other questions or comments? No, if there's no other nominations, we don't even need to take a roll call vote, do we?
Well, I think you probably do need to vote to elect.
Roll call vote, please.
Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
And Rex.
Abstain.
Thank you.
At this point in time, are there any nominations for the vice president?
I'd like to nominate Jeff Hancock.
Second. Motion made and second. Any other nominations? Any other questions or comments? Roll call vote, please.
Mike Guffey.
Aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Beckhoff.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Do we have any other nominations that we need to come to, or any other house?
I think that's it.
Any other?
About committee changes, is that per term, or is that per year? I'm just
It's
asking
your
for, asking for.
lifetime. Your lifetime.
That's
Your
good.
lifetime.
So you-
Well, if anybody would like to change on something, because I think the president does that, so if anybody would like to change, we can consider that.
I mean,
And
it's not me.
You're stuck until you write a letter saying you're resigning from that.
I might get kicked off before that.
But anyway, yeah, that's potential, it's possible.
Yeah.
Mr. President, I turn this meeting over to you.
Okay, thank you. We'll go on to the approval of the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote, please.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Glenn Purdue.
Abstain?
Rex Beckhoff.
Aye. Okay, now we're at the point where we want to approve, we're at additions to the agenda, and we had a resolution, I think it was emailed to us earlier today, number 01032023-1. If there are no objections, we'll add that to the agenda. Okay, hearing that, that's added. That brings us to public comments and special presentations. Do you have anybody who would like to speak?
Is it okay?
Oh, surprise.
Oh, surprise. I thought about that.
Carrie, before
You
you,
wanna,
Carrie, before you, I think I
Yes.
dropped my packet. I'm sorry. I didn't do, oh, I thought that was a packet.
it's, I think it's,
Okay. I was feeling bad.
just threw it. All right. Hi, I'm Carrie Barrett. I'm here on behalf of Newcastle Main Street. And I'm here tonight to talk to you guys about an investment in Newcastle Main Street. And we began in 2014. And at the time, I agreed to be the executive director if I didn't have to fundraise or speak in public. So here I am, fundraising and speaking in public.
You didn't tell us you was gonna be your own self-fundraiser
I
at
did.
that time.
Yes, yeah, I am. Well, so we began in 2014, and as you guys know, we've done quite a bit downtown. We are based we are part of National Main Street, part of Indiana Main Streets, and we're based on a 4-point approach, which is design, organization, promotion, and economic vitality. So those are the 4 main pillars of our organization. We have a board of 15 now, I believe, and I am the executive director, and we just were, the Henry County Community Foundation invested in us last year so that we could hire an administrative assistant, who will start on January 5th. And that starts us in the process of becoming a nationally accredited Main Street, which gets us all kinds of perks and helps. And Okra is looking for us to be a nationally accredited Main Street, and all their Main Streets to be nationally accredited. So we need funding to do that and to have paid staff. So that's what I'm here tonight to ask you guys for. And I sent you an email earlier just to kind of give you a highlight of some things that have happened just recently. You guys have always been very supportive and generous. You've funded some things in the past. And I think that you can really see with an investment from the BRAP, for the BRAP, what Main Street, what kind of economic development tool Main Street can be, because we took that $400,000 and together as a team leveraged it into $1.2 million. So, there you go. I'm trying to keep it succinct. Do I do okay, Lee?
That's fine. You did great. I think I read your budget is what, 220,000?
225.
Okay. Is any of that budget guaranteed annually from different organizations? Or is that every year it's off the cuff to raise 220?
Yeah, we just received a grant, a 3-year grant from the Henry County Community Foundation for $120,000. So, no, I mean that, but then we need to fundraise the rest.
It's 120 a year, or that
No,
over the.
That's just
Over the 3 years.
Yeah.
over the 3 years?
Oh, and I gave you guys a handout. The Indiana Main Streets, Okra, just gave us this salary, report. So any Indiana accredited Main Street or nationally accredited Main Street, that has paid staff, the reporting is in there. 39% of Main Street's budget, with a population of 10 to 25,000, 39% of their budget comes from their local unit of government. And that's what's in that report.
So is that local government, is that city government, or is that city and county government together?
It's typically city government, or town councils, not usually county. There are some counties that do it together, and I would be happy to pursue
I
that.
was gonna say, can you approach that too?
And that would, I mean, would include RDC too, obviously, that's all under, right? I mean, that's local government funding, yeah.
Anybody else with any questions or comments? I think we're going to take that under advisement.
Thank you.
Finance committee.
I would like to say thanks, Carrie. I mean, along with what you've done, it's helped the spark of what the Arts Park has done, and it's grown each year, and it has turned a lot of heads, and it's got a lot of statewide recognition and actually national recognition. So you've done a great job, and it really has been very beneficial for our community. Thank you.
It's fun to be a part of the team. I mean, I just really see everybody moving together toward a common goal. And I think Main Street is just the place that people can put that energy. So it's fun to be a part of that team and what everybody's been doing.
As
Thank
Mayor
you.
said, you did a great job.
Great job, yeah.
Thank you.
Nobody questions that.
I do have another question.
Yes, sir.
On Fourth Fridays, I've seen a lot of stuff going over social media over the weekend.
Yes.
You're gonna.
Yes.
You're still gonna.
We are
do Fourth
absolutely having
Fridays?
Fourth Fridays. I'm not exactly sure how that all went down, but yes, we are going to have Fourth Fridays. They start in May with the donut hole eating contest on the first Fourth Friday, which is the Friday of Memorial Day. I can't believe I don't know off the top of my head what the Friday is. But Joey Chestnut will be here. And then the Fourth Friday, May, June, July, and August.
26th.
Yeah, May 26th. Joey Chestnut will be here as long as he doesn't have COVID.
I just like that. This is one of the things that we actually see the money's being put to use. You know, all you have to do is walk around downtown, just like B-RAP. Investment $400,000 turning into $1.2 million. That's very visible. So what they are doing as a committee, fortunate enough that the mayor asked me to be a part of that. Rex, you're going to be a part of it. And you'll see how hard these people work at what they do.
I saw it in the,
Yeah,
I think,
so-
committee meetings.
This is one of those things we get to see. I mean, it's out there. You're seeing what this money is being put to
Well,
use. So
There's no question, and at some point, I'd like to see us add this into our budget, where she can depend on something every year coming here, and then we can sweeten that some, Riverboat. I mean, there's some things we can do there, but something needs to be consistent.
Yeah.
Now, when you've talked to other Main Streets, you said, I know you don't like to fundraise.
She doesn't beg.
I know.
She
It
doesn't
turns out I'm
beg.
okay at it, actually.
Okay.
But,
Right. Are there certain types of events that's pretty consistent with other Main Streets that they do? And, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel here. There's a template to work off of that works in a lot of different communities.
yes, yes, there are several examples of that and I think another thing that is super important, and when you're talking about consistent funding, education for the board and like going to National Main Street Conference, we will learn those things. But like, we just went on a field trip to Shelbyville, a couple people, and we did learn a couple things about, like, they have a wine walk, and that's incredibly successful for them. It does always take a few years to get things going.
Right.
But yes, Yeah, and the more events that focus on our downtown retailers are extremely important, I think. So we need to focus on the retailers and to be able to make a little bit of fundraising.
And do you feel like the downtown merchants are supportive of the program now financially? I don't know where your money's coming from, all of it, so
I mean,
they can do better.
no.
Okay.
Our money comes from fundraising. We have sponsorship for Fourth Fridays. We do sponsorships for the flower pots and the Christmas pots.
Right.
And those essentially pay for themselves. We had a couple of banner programs this year that were very, one of them was really good, one of them wasn't so much. But those are the kinds of things we do. And then we have some donors, and I would like to get more into donor development, just a lot like a template from the Community Foundation. That
Sure.
way.
Okay.
On the Fourth Fridays, the food trucks pay a fee to come.
They have not in the past, Rex, but that is something that we will do.
Because it's nothing against Fourth Friday, but basically it's a throw money out there, and you're not really getting anything in return.
Exactly, yes.
It's
Yes.
nice to make it a little more cash flow
Right.
positive. Patrons.
Right, yes, yeah, I agree. All right, thank you.
I go to statewide mayor's meetings and there are communities that's winning awards that haven't done a pinch of what we've done. And but it gives you something to compare us to what they've been doing. And so I sat there kind of just quiet and proud that we're doing what we're doing, because I see some things that we're doing are just off the charts. They won an award for a butterfly, a live butterfly tent, just an indoor little. But what I see our community doing compared to some of the others, there's some things that we need to learn, but there's some things that we're really ahead of the game. That's about the community also.
I will say one more invitation for you guys. So we are getting national recognition at the National Main Street Conference, which is March 27th, 28th, and 29th. We will be speaking on March 28th, and everybody's invited. I'm trying to get Mayor to get a private plane to take us to Boston.
I might get one for me.
But anyway, so if you guys want to go, please let me know. There's a special price for local unit of government. So, let me know.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to come forward? Yeah,
Mr. Perdue asked about the merchants downtown, and I happened to run into Carrie and Caleb, or Scaffy, at one of the downtown businesses. And apparently, most of the merchants must be pretty pleased with Main Street, because Caleb had a great Christmas from downtown. He had a new outfit on, new hat, all kinds of stuff. So
all kinds of stuff.
they
And
received-
everybody just says, "Thanks, Terry," and I'm like, I can get a Trojan sweatshirt.
They must like Caleb singing also. If you've ever heard him sing.
Caleb's great.
Yeah, you can hear it block away.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to we'll move on to committee and council reports. So, Mr. Guthrie.
Where did we end the year on the cycle program? How many did we have?
Maybe 10, maybe a dozen or less.
So that's staying about the same?
Yeah.
All right. Also, it's a new year, it's 2023, and we do have some new state officials and county officials, and it'd be good. I feel like we need to reach out to these guys. I've already done it. I continue to do it, but I feel like we need to let them know. I think it's a good opportunity, especially we got new people coming in. Who knows, I talked to a guy from the county, and I know the county, for some reason, we but I let him know my feelings and about city council and county council. And hopefully, something will happen there. And I've just noticed this is going into my fourth term, grants. It just doesn't seem like push for grants. You know, it'd be good to be able to push out and try to get these grants. And I know you can't get them all, I understand that, but it would be good if we would really, I think, dig in and see about trying to get some grants. I'd like to see that.
We still writing grants through Klein Peter?
Some, and Christie Oregon.
Okay. And they, I mean, never mind. Yeah, okay.
We've applied for a couple, but we couldn't afford the match.
Right.
So, I mean, some of them are 50-50, some of them are 80-20,
I understand that.
but it's,
I just hope we just continue to keep pushing.
we will, we do.
That's all I have.
Hey, Mr. Hancock.
I just want to thank all the city workers for December, what a rough month it was. I've seen coldest day out there. Greg had 4 employees out there, 3 in Indiana. He's out there for considerable amount of time to shut the water off. So I know they've had a lot of water breaks, main breaks and all that, but that day was really a rough day for the 4 employees. So Greg, I appreciate all of your workers in the city. I appreciate all of your workers. It was a rough December. That's all, Your Honor.
Mr. Walden.
I'd like to give an update on the Eastern Indiana Planning Commission. Mr. Mayor, you can pipe in on this.
I better keep my mouth shut.
Okay. We did have a meeting in Rushville 2 weeks ago. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Really well represented. Fayette County, Rush County, Henry County, Wayne County. Mayors were there from Connersville, Rushville, Newcastle. Congressman Pence was in attendance. Senator Braun had a representative, one of his chief of staffs there. Basically what it is, the region has come up with a comprehensive plan. They use parts of our city comprehensive plan, the county's comprehensive plan, the other county's comprehensive plan, and those cities' comprehensive plans. Put this all together. And they came up with a regional economic plan. It basically includes the widening of I-70, which is going to happen in Wayne County starting next year in Richmond, coming westward to Cambridge City. As you know, it's already coming from Indianapolis. Henry County's not mentioned in that yet, but the 6 lane of I-70 will go all the way from Indianapolis to the state line at some point. That was the number 1 agenda item for economic development. Number 2 item was the exchange at State Road 103. The 3rd item was widening State Road 3 from Newcastle down to Greensburg. And then the 4th item was straightening out State Road 1 from US 40 Connersville. Basic idea of this economically is to connect I-74 to I-70 and making this a true economic region ready to be developed residentially, commercially, all of those items. The conversation wasn't what we wished for from the state. A lot of hoops that you have to jump through. I think everyone in this room knows my stance on the exchange at State Road 103. It's the only state road that intersects I-70 that does not have an exchange. The mistake was made 60 years ago, and that needs to be corrected. Indianapolis is coming this way. It's coming. It's not going to be stopped. The governor's even said that himself. It's already grown north of Indianapolis, south of Indianapolis, west of Indianapolis, and now it's coming our way. Common sense tells me that if the construction is going to be taking place around that State Road 103 area, the equipment's going to be there, the construction's going to be taking place, it's going to have to be replaced, the overpass is going to have to be replaced. Rebar showing through the support wall, rebar showing through the road work itself. And common sense tells me, well, if you're going to have to replace that, you're going to have to widen it for adding 2 more lanes to I-70, why not go ahead and put the exchange lane, the equipment, the workers already there. It is my belief that that would be a huge economic boon, not only Newcastle, but to Henry County. There are a lot of things that would happen. I think the industries here now would 100% support it. I think they benefit from it greatly. And in my vision, and I may never see this, this is a 10-year project in Wayne County, 7 to 10-year project. And it is what? $31 million for every mile of construction. $31 million. That's a lot of money. And I understand that. But looking towards the future, I think we have a great opportunity to make something happen. It's kind of like the Field of Dreams. Build it and they will come. That's my attitude on it. I just see nothing but positive things coming from it. Growth will bother some people. But I think that'd be one thing to put us ahead of the ballgame if that were to take place. We have great support from the region. We really do. Have confidence in that. I think all of our mayors have a pretty good relationship. They've talked about expanding State Road 3, which is, Governor Daniels at the time promised Honda that would happen. It's not going to happen without public financial put in, right? Is that a good way to put it?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor? It's a game that you play and a game that you have to jump through hoops. I'm not going to give up on it. It's something that I truly believe in. I believe in this community, and I believe in the fact that it do nothing but help us grow in the right direction. Switching from that to the 16th Street construction.
Can I ask a question on 70?
Yes.
Okay, you said Wayne County was going to get all the love for the next 7 to 10 years. Does that mean Henry County can basically, we're on the back burner? And
Well, Lynn, it's coming from both directions.
Both sides.
It's kind of like when they built it the very first time, it came from Indianapolis, it started in Richmond.
Right,
so.
right. But from the conversations you heard and the feelings that you got there, do you think within the next 10 years, Henry County, either east or west, doesn't matter, will get some money spent on 70 besides
At
repairs?
some point it will, because the whole concept is to have 6 lanes from state line to Indianapolis. That's the projection.
I took it that it takes 10 years to get that.
It does. Yeah, that was my question. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, so.
Yeah, so that's, and Clark Perry was the assistant superintendent for the Greenfield district. No, he's in a tough position. He has followed state guidelines, state rules. He was very direct in what he said. He didn't waver from what he said. He kind of felt beat up at first, and he's in a tough position because that, $31 million for every mile. I had no idea, none. $31 million for every mile. And my question is, where's the federal government on that, since that's a national interstate? So.
Okay, that's all down on that one.
16th Street, they put in the dirt around the sidewalks now. And they're probably going to have to go back in the spring and do some more work on that. I think they did that just to make sure that the sidewalks wouldn't move.
Right. Yeah, they'll have to do restoration in the
Yeah,
spring.
so, but those sidewalks are awesome. It's a nice, easy walk, and it's going to help the kids out getting the Wilbur Wright down. Really, really need to slap those guys on the back, because they did a nice job with that project so far. So they were easy to talk to. I had conversations with them each week, so.
It's the first project that we've actually seen them, White Construction, work on. It's typically Milestone or E&B doing all these projects. Those guys did a bit of the job of White Construction just a little bit, and I felt like they've done a good job.
they were very open with us, they really did, so make sure you let them know that. We there in that part of town really appreciate the job they've done so far. That's all I have.
Mr. Dickon? I don't think I have anything this time. Mr. Drew?
Nothing this time?
I don't have anything either, so we'll turn it over to you, Your Honor, for your report.
Chief, you have anything?
We're currently running our uniform division out of the new police department right now. It's not open to the public yet. I'm hoping by the end of January, we'll all be completely moved in. The location, we're just working on some signings to come in.
Then we'll have an open house at some time.
Yeah, but I've got all the uniform guys operating out there right now.
Fire? EMS? No, sir. Kenny Dale? Mike? Dave?
No, sir.
Anything else? Brandon? Kendra? Gary?
No, sir.
Lee? Well, I want to especially say thanks to all city employees, every department. Since Thanksgiving, our city employees haven't had much of a vacation. Thanksgiving, 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call that we have a water main break south of Riley School, and everybody, what time did you call, Rex? 6:45, 7 o'clock?
Probably 7:30, and my neighbors had called, you know, but.
We had a water main break on Thanksgiving morning. I mean, you know, obviously, we never picked a water main break, but it seemed like it hit all of our holidays this year. Then at Christmas time, we had a huge water main break on Road 3. And I grew up, my mom, every Christmas Eve had candlelight pizza from Pizza King. And this Christmas Eve, I had to shut down Pizza King. So, didn't have any choice. This Christmas, remember, it was 15 degrees below zero and 40-mile-an-hour winds. If you have fingers exposed 3 to 5 minutes, you're going to get frostbite. Well, nobody ever told us how much time you were going to get frostbite if you had your hands in the water with 15 below zero and 40 miles. So we just literally spent probably a couple hours just trying to find out where to shut the water off at, and literally shut the water off for 3 days. It was about noon Monday before we got it back on. So it was nothing planned, but the moral of the story is our city employees did not get the same holidays that you got this year. Lee had a plan put together, worked around the clock. We're lucky that the weatherman missed it. I think we only got an inch of snow. They were saying we were going to get 4 to 6. We're fortunate that we didn't, but they still threw salt during the snow and around the clock. The fire, police, EMS, you know, I feel so sorry for them on the holidays, because it does not matter what the holiday is. When their rotation, their shift comes up, they're working, you know, and it's not a slow time. You know, people get depressed, and more accidents happen over the holidays. So our special services were working just as hard as they ever do. So I thought, surely we'll have a good New Year's Eve. And I get a phone call at 4:30 from 911 that we knew that Boar's Head had been closed down and TS Tech, so we had cleaned those lines with a liquid Drano, commercial liquid Drano, bored them out with our vectors and hired other vectors to come in and do it. And it broke everything loose there, and it opened those lines up, and it got clogged up in Jamestown, and nobody in Jamestown could flush their toilet New Year's Eve. So it had the street department out cleaning the sewer lines. So I just want everybody to be mindful and thankful for the city employees, because they did not have the holiday that you had this year. So just pat them on the back, give them a thanks, tell them appreciate it, because it's been a tough year for them. It's especially, you know, since Thanksgiving, something happened on every holiday. So they've really paid the price this year. And I appreciate it. So I just want you to appreciate it also. That's all I have.
Thank you. That brings us to our resolutions and ordinances. Our first resolution is Resolution 01032-023-1. Those are sweep transfers. Whereas it is necessary to transfer funds from one budget classification to another within the clerk treasurer's office in the city of Newcastle, whereas this transfer does not require the expenditure of more money than the total amount set out in the budget for that fund. Now therefore be resolved by the Common Council of the city of Newcastle, Indiana, that the clerk treasurer's office shall be permitted to make the following budgetary transfers within the fund budgets. I'm not going to read all of these. If somebody wants to see them, they can. Basically, this is something that happens just about every year. It's kind of a housekeeping thing. It will result in some of our places where it shows negatives being wiped out and now showing a positive. So, do I hear a motion to pass?
I'll make a motion to pass.
Second.
1032-023-1.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to pass this. Is there any discussions or questions?
Yeah, I want to apologize to Brenda because when I printed this off at home, I think it printed off in Chinese. So I had some questions, but this is much better.
I figured you could read that.
No.
Okay, hearing no discussion, we'll vote on that, please. Roll
Mike
call.
Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens. Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye. Okay, that brings us to our ordinance 3900, an ordinance amending prior ordinances regarding the schedule of changes for the emergency ambulance and transportation services. Whereas the city of Newcastle has by passage of prior ordinances established rates and charges for the emergency ambulance and transportation service. Whereas the charges have most recently been amended by ordinance 3866, codified in section 33.26 of the Newcastle City Code. Whereas it has been determined that an additional charge should be added to the schedule of charges. Now therefore be it ordained by the Common Council of the city of Newcastle, Indiana, that schedule 33.26 and all other ordinances establishing charges for the emergency ambulance and transportation should be hereby amended as follows. Ambulance mileage $18 per loaded mile. ALS-1 non-emergency $1,000. Number 3 ALS-1 emergency $1,300. 4 ALS.2 or -2 emergency $1,500. Number 5 special care transport $2,000. Number 6 BLS non-emergency $800. 7 BLS emergency $950. 8 ALS intercept for other ambulance service contracted rate for $500. All of the provisions of section 3326 of the Newcastle City Code, norms is 3416, 3539, 3569, 3594, 3712, and 3866, which are not modified by this ordinance, shall remain in full force and effect. I would move that we pass ordinance 3900 on first reading.
Second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion or questions?
Is this pretty much on par with other communities?
It is. The only thing we're really adding here is the intercept part of that line 6. We have agreements, but occasionally we get called for out-of-county services, need our paramedics, so we just need to be able to bill them for that service. That's all we're changing or adding.
Okay. Is that good?
How is Southwest going to take effect out of Nicetown?
That's not going to affect us. We've been going down there for the last 2 years anyway, and we've taken 74-ish% of those transports already, so.
Good deal.
Okay, any other discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Mike Duffy.
Aye.
Jeff Hancock.
Aye.
Jerry Walden.
Aye.
Aaron Dickens.
Aye.
Lynn Purdue.
Aye.
Rex Peckinpah.
Aye. So that passes, and that concludes our business. So if I hear a motion to adjourn, we'll adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Adjourn.